to your Monday Cook Along. I'm Aine Boyle from Good Food Nutrition. So it's the start of another week, and I thought I would do something slightly different today. So rather than cooking, I'm going to show you how to make a really lovely, tasty baked cookie. But now, when we're talking, your recipe now is just up on screen there. But when we're talking about sort of having your sweet treats and everything like that, is that I run my own nutritional therapy clinic. So I see clients regularly, and a lot of the times they're coming to me for health issues or they're coming to me for weight loss. And one of the things that I always sort of insist on with clients is that they continue to eat real food. So you will have noticed as we went along with my previous videos is that I was kind of taking sort of common favorite dishes and tweaking them. So all of my dishes, be it cooking or baking, is always tweaking them. And the idea behind this is that, as I say, is in my nutritional therapy clinic, is that I want my clients to eat real food. So if I say to somebody, you can never eat that again, or you can never eat chocolate again, or you can never have this again, first thing, that's what people want. So I'm always trying to tweak my cooking and my baking dishes to ensure that you get to live proper real life and you get to eat real food. So that is why today I'm hearing from a lot of people how at the beginning of lockdown, we all went buck nuts, eating sugar, drinking too much, eating fast food, that we cooked ourselves, loads of sweets, loads of chocolate, loads of crisps, and unfortunately many have piled on the weight. Okay, so I have seen that we've kind of tailed off a little bit and we're kind of a little more aware now, actually probably shouldn't have. But in cases, a lot of people have put on stones of weight, okay? So that said is that I want to be able to give you ideas that if you are sitting with a cup of tea and you really fancy something sweet or a Vicky or whatever, I want to give you different ideas on how to do that, but also to allow you to have that little sweet treat with your cup of tea. Okay, that's really important, is that even though you're changing your eating habits and you're looking after your health, or you might want to lose weight or just feel a little bit better, more energy, you still want to have something with your mid-afternoon cuppa. So that said, today I'm going to show you how to make a really gorgeous recipe, okay? It is my homemade chocolate hobnobs, okay? Now, when you're thinking of your favorite biscuit, you think, gosh, there's so many out there. I absolutely used to love chocolate hobnobs many years ago. I haven't had a hobnob in years. But anyway, there are certain biscuits that kind of we feel that great comfort from. So these biscuits, they are like an oaty biscuit made with cinnamon and some ground almonds in there, some olive oil in there. And the idea is that they are very, very close to the real chocolate hobnobs. And what we're going to do is we're going to bake them off, we're going to let them cool, and then what I have done here is, you can't have a chocolate hobnob without your chocolate. So what I have done is, instead of like having that really sweet milk chocolate that effectively is just abundance of sugar, is that I have, basically you'll see there is, I have melted, and it's just like liquid silk, it's fab. I have melted some dark chocolate. And what we're going to do is we're going to make off our hobnob cookies, and then we're going to let them cool. And after doing that is we're going to coat the top of them in the most delicious and silky dark chocolate. And then what we do is we let them set, and then there you'll have your gorgeous chocolate hobnob, okay? So at the end of the day is, saying to you, you can never have another biscuit again, or you can never have, that's ridiculous. That's not real life, not even for me. I have a terrible sweet tooth. I have to control it. So what I do is I try to find ways around it to make healthier alternatives. But it's really important as well, I'm a chef as well as a nutritional therapist, it's really important that it tastes like the real thing. There's no point in calling it a chocolate hobnob if it tastes nothing like a chocolate hobnob. Okay, so we'll get going in this really simple recipes for this one. Again, that, it's one of those that if the kids are baking in the kitchen, they could easily get in doing this as well, okay? So we're going to start off, get just a nice big bowl, and I have my weighing scales here as well. So we're just going to start to weigh off our goods. So we're putting on to our grams, and I'm using here is when I'm baking or even making my homemade granola is I like to use the big jumbo oats, and I'll show you what I mean here, is that they are kind of, you'll see there, is that they are the bigger oats than the small little tiny ones. And the reason I do that is that you get a bit more chew and a bit more bite out of them. So I have some lovely giant jumbo oats, and we're going to go in with 100 grams. So just into the bowl, 100 grams. Okay. And with this recipe, it's great because you can just double or treble it and stick them in the freezer afterwards and take out little batches as you need them. Now, we're also going to go in there with some gluten-free flour. So this is a great one as well, that if you are celiac or gluten intolerant, it doesn't mean that you can never have a biscuit again. You just have to kind of be a bit more creative. The ones you buy are often completely tasteless, and to be honest with you, absolutely full of sugar. So even making your own and freezing them is a great way to ensure you have something with your afternoon cuppa. So we're going to go in with 30 grams of our gluten-free flour, and I'm just using a buckwheat flour. You can also use an oat flour. You can use rice flour as well, whatever gluten-free flour you like. And then into that, we're going to go in again, flavouring it all up with a little pinch of our Himalayan sea salt, just in there. And into that, we are going to go 50 grams of ground almonds. So these are just your bog standard ground almonds that you buy in the baking section. But again, they are, when they're ground down, they're like flour. Okay, so effectively, we've kind of got two types of flour here, but they give a great taste, that nutty taste as well. So in we go with 50 grams. Okay, that's them. And then we're going to go in, because I love it so much, is cinnamon. Okay, this isn't in the original hobnob recipe, obviously, but I just love cinnamon. And again, I had spoken before, cinnamon is great. If you suffer with sweet tooth or real cravings, cinnamon is one that we use a lot in nutritional therapy for curbing sweet cravings. Okay, so it is one that I use a lot in my baking and even in my homemade granolas, porridge, and everything as well. So we're just going to go in with about half a teaspoon, and that just gives a little hint of cinnamon there. And then we're going to go in with a third of a cup of olive oil. Okay, so a little measuring cup, third of a cup. That's it. Now, for anyone who doesn't use cups, I'm going to very quickly measure it in milliliters for you. And that would be 50 milliliters. Okay. And then, or you can use as well coconut oil as well if you like. But sometimes the olive oil is just easier as well. And then into that, we are going to go 1 teaspoon of honey. Now, or maple syrup, one or the other. Now, you can use your maple syrup or whatever. I'm using a lovely local honey that my neighbour produces. And normally I wouldn't use these honeys in baking because the heat can destroy them. But this one I know is grand. So in we go with 1 tablespoon. And we'll just get all that lovely honey just off the spoon there. Okay, just going to get rid of this and wash my hands. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to give everything a really, really good mix around. So again, you just want all of those ingredients being mixed around. You want the cinnamon spread through it, the ground almonds, everything mixed through it. And I'm going to show you now what it looks like, so you can see sort of what the texture is. I sometimes, if I'm making a chocolatey in it, is I will add in a little bit of organic cacao powder, not cocoa powder. Cocoa powder sweetened. The cacao powder is just pure raw, and it's quite bitter, but again, it just gives that depth as well. So give everything a really good mix around there. And let me just show you now what this looks like. So you can see there, so you can see in there, it's quite crumbly. Now, what I do is I am going to add a little dash of cold water, okay? And all that's going to do is just act as a little binder for it, okay? And the reason that I do that is just that it stops you having to add more and more sort of oil or honey and maple syrup and stuff as well. It stops you having to add that, so again, you're keeping that sugar content down as well. Okay, so in we go. That's a shot glass, that's about 40 millilitres in there. So we're probably not going to need all of that. So we'll go with about 10 millilitres. And again, just mix that around. Just using a spoon or a spatula, whatever you have. Now I'm going to be pressing this down into a kind of mould anyway, so I'm not too worried if it doesn't kind of completely stick together. Okay, so that is starting to look nice and wet now. And I'm just going to show you once again what that is looking like, so you can see there. So again, you've got that beautiful smell coming out of the cinnamon in there as well, and that local honey as well. There's kind of like almost like a lavender sort of smell off it. So you will kind of, your cookies will take on the flavors of whatever's in your ingredients as well. Okay, that's nice and wet now. And then what I'm going to do is I have got myself just a baking tray here, and I have just lined it there, you'll see, with a silicone tray liner. And what that does as well is just means that I don't have to grease the tray and my cookies won't stick as well. Okay, really important. If you haven't got those silicone liners, and they are really handy, you can get them at any, well, you're not in the shops probably buying them at the moment, but on Amazon as well, you can get them for a couple of quid, get 3 or 4 of them, they're brilliant for the oven. So what we're going to do is you can, of course, just spoon your mixture out on here. But again, I like my cookies to look like little cookies. So what I'm going to do is I have a little scone cutter there. So it's kind of like a little medium scone cutter. And what I'm going to do is, I show you here out front, is I am just going to place that on the tray and then just spoon in a little bit of my mixture. So let me just get another spoon. So we'll add in about a tablespoon in there. And then just using the back of a teaspoon, I'm just going to press these down. And what that'll do is it'll stop them falling apart in the oven or when they come out, because it kind of makes them a little bit firmer as well, so they bake firmer. So I'm just going to press these down here. And then when I lift this up, you will see what I mean, okay? So let me just lift that up there. So you can see there is we just have like, they almost look like giant kind of oat cookies, which is effectively what they are. So we're just going to put a few of those in there. Okay, so I like them kind of like, I like the cookies to be fairly large. I don't like a miserable cookie or a miserable biscuit, because effectively you just end up eating 2 or 3. At least if you have a nice chunky one. Yeah, sometimes they'll be happy with one, sometimes. But again, I mean, obviously, I'm not suggesting that you eat 10 of these, but it means that you actually have something there you can have, and that you don't end up, what a lot of people I'm hearing from as well is they know they shouldn't eat the packet of biscuits, as we all know, but they eat the packet of biscuits and then they absolutely kill themselves with guilt afterwards, which is a miserable way to live, in my opinion. So why not just change slightly how you do things? I mean, these ingredients are ingredients you probably have in your cupboards anyway, but if you change slightly and are just open to maybe new recipes, it means you can effectively, if you excuse the pun, have your cake and eat it as well. But also as well is it means you're not piling on the weight and you don't feel horrible afterwards. So we're just going to go in with a couple more of these. And these are absolutely lovely. My own kids now be looking forward to having some of these afterwards. So again, I'm probably going to get about 6 out of this. So by all means, feel free, as I say, to make bigger batches, and you can just freeze them and take them out as and when. So you can actually put the chocolate on and everything, and then just freeze them like that and just take them straight out, okay? Totally up to yourself. So this is just our 5th one here, so we should get 6 exactly out of this. So this, again, just pressing down, just to make sure they stay together. I have tried using this recipe just with my hands, and they're fine. but they are a bit more crumblier and you have to be a little bit more careful. So we're just going to put the last bit in here. Actually, I think we might get, we'll get 7. No point in overpiling them. Just press that down there. Yes, they can be very crumbly if they're not pressed in together. So it's just as easy to pop them in a scone mold or a scone cutter, and that means then that it takes away any chance of them falling apart, particularly if your children are making them. Because obviously that's going to be harder for the kids to manage as well. But this is a lovely one. I mean, if you've smaller kids as well, or any age, but if you've smaller kids or grandchildren, now it's so lovely because we can start to see members of our family as well. So grannies can see their grandchildren, or granddads can see their grandchildren, and it means they can start to do these type of things with them again, which I'm sure they've missed dreadfully. So you have there, you can see, I just show you there, you have 7 gorgeous little oat biscuits, okay? So what I've done is I've preheated the oven to 160 degrees fan, and I'm going to pop them in there and just set my timer for about 13 minutes. Okay, so just give my table a bit of a wipe down. Now, okay, so obviously you don't want to be sitting here listening to me waffling on for 13 minutes. So what I did earlier was I made another batch, okay? And you'll see these ones here as these, just to show you the difference in them, these ones here I shaped with my own hands, okay, rather than using the scone cutter. So you can see the sort of difference in them as well. These are a lot more rustic, but by God, they still taste lovely because we have tried them in the house. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to decorate these ones and just show you how they're going to finish up, okay? So as I said is earlier on is I just got about 50, 60 grams of dark chocolate. Now I tend to, as I say, is I have a very sweet tooth. So I have to control that, otherwise I could go quite mad. So I now myself only tend to eat sort of 90% chocolate, which is very bitter, and I do understand it's too bitter for a lot of people, okay? So if that's the case, is maybe look towards 60 or 70% as well. And get a good quality one because you really do pay for what you get when it comes to chocolate. Something like Green and Blacks, there's another one, Montezumo's as well, even your Lindt as well, it's all of them lovely quality chocolate as well. So if you're going through the trouble of making your homemade biscuits, you want to finish it off with good quality chocolate. So what I did with this, as you can see there, is it's just beautiful. It's almost like silk. Absolutely gorgeous. I just popped about 60 grams into a bowl like this and put it over a pan of simmering water, okay? You make sure the bottom of the bowl doesn't touch the water on there as well, okay? Otherwise the chocolate will start to nearly split or curdle. And literally within the space of a minute, just keep stirring it and keep stirring it, and the chocolate's melted. The minute it's nearly melted, take it off the heat, and then I just remove the bowl from over the water just to basically start the cooling down process for the chocolate. So what I'm going to do is, you can go one of 2 ways here. You can either pick up the biscuits and dip in, or you can drizzle over the top as well. So we're going to do both and see how they come out as well, okay? So we'll start off just with a bit of drizzling. And again, a little goes a long way when it comes to these. So again, just over the top, a little drizzle, and a little bit will come down the sides as well. But this is why I'm saying this, when you're about to use the chocolate, is that make sure it's cooled down, and you'll know that just by popping your finger into it. But if it's hot, it will run off the biscuit completely, and you will end up with basically, you got the biscuit and then the chocolate all over your plate, which you won't be too happy about. So again, just over the top and smoothing it down along the sides. Okay, we'll put another little tiny bit in that. And what you can do is, at home, if you're making these, is that you can pop them into the fridge just to allow them to cool down in there. So I'm going to just lift this one up and show you what I mean by it. So you have here, if I show you there, hopefully you can all see it. You can see you have the lovely oat in the bottom, and then you have the lovely chocolate on the top. Okay, and what we're going to do with some of the other ones is we're going to dip them in. Okay, this is where it gets quite messy and where kids, if they're involved, they will be licking everything, countertops, bowls, everything, which that's all part of the fun as well. So what we're going to do is, with one of the other maybe more rounder ones, this one here, I am just going to take it and I'm just going to dip it into the bowl, okay? Get a good dolloping of your chocolate on there, and then take it out and just let it sit on your plate as well, okay? I have to resist very licking my own fingers as well. And again, some of the other ones is in we go, and just moving it all around the bowl until you get plenty of that dark chocolate. Let the excess drip off, and then placing it down. You can as well, there's an easier way of doing it as well, but you will waste a lot of chocolate, is you can put these on a cooling rack and you can pour the chocolate over them, but then I find all the chocolate, kind of the excess chocolate goes down onto the sort of baking tray underneath, and it's kind of wasted. So this way at least you can control it. And what I'm going to do is when the other batch comes out is I'm then going to use them to dip them as well. So again, just dipping all of that lovely oat cookie in there, dripping off the excess, pop that in there. And again, the last one I'm going to go in with, oh my God, these are gorgeous. The smell of the chocolate is just divine. Okay, and we're just going to pop these on here. Now, I'm just going to quickly wash my hands. And what I'm going to do is, obviously, you know, if I was doing this at home, is I would take them and pop them into the fridge and let them cool. But for here, I just want you, I just want you guys to see what they look like. So again, we'll just pop these nice and gently onto our plate. And these look amazing. And I know they taste lovely as well, because I did taste them without the chocolate on them, and they are just gorgeous. I'll just take these out of our way. We're just going to check, I'm just going to check the oven to see how much longer is on them as well. Okay, and there's about 7 minutes on there. But you can see there is, I'm going to show you close up to the camera as well. If I lift these as well, as I don't want to tip them too much because they'll be gone. But I will show you now up to the camera in a second. But you can see is that, you know, if you have overindulged in lockdown, which let's be honest, most of us have, okay, is it's not too late to take back control of your health there, is, and maybe start reducing the sugar and looking at other ways of doing it, okay? You can see how quickly, I mean, to mix that in the bowl took the whole thing 5 minutes. You're going to bake them for 13 minutes and then get everybody else involved in actually popping the chocolate on as well, okay? So they are so quick, but at least you know that they're a tweaked version of maybe one of your favorite biscuits as well. So just because you're kind of trying to cut down on biscuits and crisps and chocolate and everything like that, it doesn't mean that you can't have stuff. And that's the most important bit, as I say, is when I'm talking to clients as well, is that, you know, I have to be realistic, is that me telling somebody you're never to eat another biscuit again is ridiculous. And also as well, it's going to make that person quite upset, quite sad, and quite annoyed as well. That's not making healthy changes in your diet. All that's doing is irritating people. So instead is, why not get recipes, tweak them so that they are healthier, but again, they taste like you're having some of your favorite dishes. So I'm just going to show you here, and again, I cannot, but you can see there, whoops, I show you there, you can see, I mean, they look absolutely gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, and they taste it as well. So what I will do is afterwards is your recipe has been up on screen as well throughout the video. So by all means is that your recipe is back up on screen again if you want to take a quick screenshot there. But if you feel like making it, do let me know by posting a comment below how you like these as well. Because again, is I would like to do a lot more of these as well, is again just showing you that they're, you know, just tweak here, tweak there. You can still have your kind of traits and stuff as well. So you can pop a comment below if you do like it, or even a little thumbs up would be great as well. I will also post a link to my website as well, Good Food Nutrition. And on the Good Food Nutrition website as well, I have my 10 guilt-free chocolate treats, okay? This is hot chocolate, and there's chocolate fudge in it as well, okay? So, you know, if you are a bit of a chocoholic, but you're trying to come away from the bought stuff, that's a great little recipe pack as well. So that's on the recipe section on goodfoodnutrition.co.uk. And I'll also as well pop up my usual link for my Fabulous Foodies Facebook group. And in that group as well is I am always giving tips and ideas again for just tweaking those little recipes, be it cooking and baking as well, to allow you to still enjoy your food. So again, guys, that is I guess I'm not going to bend that plate too far because they'll end up on the ground and my dog here will eat them. They are my gorgeous, sort of healthier chocolate hobnobs. But I guarantee you, if you had one of those with your afternoon cuppa, okay, I think you'd be pretty happy. And I think perhaps knowing that there was a sort of maybe an alternative there it might just make you think perhaps I could cut down on the biscuits, the chocolate as well. But again, that's just down to your own health needs and whatever you want to do. But if you do have any questions on that today, you can get in touch obviously via my website, goodfoodnutrition.co.uk, or if you don't need to do it privately, you can pop a comment underneath the video, ask me a question, and I will come straight back to you. So guys, once again, that is my healthier chocolate hobnobs on a Monday afternoon, which I'm now going to have with a cup of coffee. And I will see you all back here for your Friday cook along on Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock. So have a fantastic week, everybody, and I'll chat to you on Friday.